Deepwoken's community is terrible. It's no secret that Deepwoken has a terrible community. It somehow manages to be a mix of the most toxic and softest people you have ever met in your entire life, all in a Roblox game. It's so diversely terrible that even the mod team is split into random divisors, which is why half the mod team wants me banned, while the other mods are anywhere from neutral to liking me. It's just weird, you know? It's just a really big show for how Deepwoken is remaining uniquely diverse while equally as toxic. But why? Well, there's a few reasons. I'll be live on Twitch right after this video, so come drop in and let's get straight into it. Deepwoken's community and moderation are both made up entirely of groups of people who basically hate each other. Competitive players seem to hate more casual players, I guess for being worse at the game for some reason. Casual players hate competitive players for trying too hard and being overall just annoying. And then the entire game is full of like teenagers with nothing to do with their time, so that's already a bad recipe. And then the moderation team is also split quite similarly, with the youngest moderators being like 15, 16, I think, and then the oldest ones being fully grown adults. It's kind of just like a big divisor, which in itself is a huge problem. When you have multiple people with different perspectives of things working under the same rulebook, they're bound to interpret things wildly different, which is why fat fetish art is only questionably allowed in the fan artist art channels. It's the same reason for why the recently demoted moderator, Mazina Fandi, who I covered in my last video, wouldn't have gotten in trouble if it wasn't an issue that was covered. Overall, the moderation team doesn't really care about their own image that much unless it causes huge problems within the game and the community. So they seem to follow a mindset of, if it's not directly threatening people, then it's not that bad. Which is ironic because the thing that the moderator who got demoted for said was taken as one of two different threats. Now real quick, she did DM me to explain some of it, so I'll have some of it on screen now. If you like them, as in the characters from Omori, sexually, then you need to be blown out of the community. A bit of a really bad miscommunication, but potentially true seeing as how she isn't natively English. You can choose to believe or to not believe her. I'm unsure of it at this point, but it's not really the scheme of what she did that's important for the moderation team. It's the fact that the mod team didn't care when there was no context to this. Even if it was a misunderstanding, best case scenario, the mod team brushed it off without the community backlash, which in itself is a problem, because when it was under the worst case, without context, the sexualization of a minor, the moderation team fought to avoid taking action, and then stated that they were disappointed in the Deepwoken community for the outrage. They shouldn't be disappointed in the Deepwoken community. The Deepwoken community should be disappointed in the moderation team for not taking action sooner. Best case for Mazina Fandi, worst case for the moderation team. Before the context was even fully realized, they were more hesitant to do anything about it because they hadn't received enough community backlash yet. So they were going to do nothing when it looked as bad as possible, and when things started to get better, instead of explaining it, instead of keeping her demoted for further investigation before, I don't know, explaining it, repromoting, maybe, they instead decided to do two things. First of all, they banned the person who was like the main target of this scrutiny, the person who Mazina Fandi said, oh, they should blow you, which out of context, but yeah, they banned him for I think a week for some reason, when he wasn't even the person that was instigating, because he didn't start all the problems in the Discord. Other people saw that messages and then started pinging them and instigating between them, but neither him nor Mazina Fandi were making the problems worse. It was the community, right? It was kind of an infinite feedback loop of negativity, right? So the mods banned him for not doing anything when he didn't do anything, demoted Mazina Fandi after everything was kind of mostly realized, instead of demoting her sooner and then doing investigations. And then when they finally did something, they placed the blame on the community rather than their poor judgment and management skills. The Deepwoken moderation team is pathetic. What they should have done was immediately demote her for the comments, look into it, and if things check out, then maybe explain it to the community, try and get people more sympathetic, and then maybe give her a position back. But instead, they did nothing when it seemed the worst, did something when they finally started receiving backlash for doing nothing, and then they banned the person who was the victim of this whole thing. Regardless, that isn't really entirely important for the grand scheme of what I'm covering in this video. The game kind of just breeds toxicity. Insert breeding joke in comment. The permanent death aspect causes a lot of anger, which is then reflected onto other players. When someone wipes, they get mad at whoever did it to them, and when faced with aggression, it prompts more aggression. Already on its own, that causes a largely toxic environment, but it's only really amplified by the moderation team, which I think is actually too strict to help and makes it worse. The moderation team is trained to be strict in order to combat toxicity, but this really only results in loops of toxicity caused by the anger caused from getting punished in-game or on Discord due to various jokes or small menial behaviors that really don't matter. If you get muted or banned after already getting pissed off, it's just gonna make you more angry. If the mods loosened up some of the rules, I'm like 90% sure people in the Deepwoken Discord wouldn't be nearly as toxic all the time, especially in game. For reference, I was banned again from the Deepwoken Discord, not for the last video, but for talking about Bill Gates having a Microsoft in reference to his company and his, yeah. Anyway, this is apparently considered NSFW talk by the cherry-picking moderator who was literally just watching general chat when I was in there because I immediately got muted and then banned for a month without even seeing anyone. Get off Discord, loser. Regardless, I don't really think it helps the community at all to ban me for that. It was a joke about Bill Gates and it wasn't threatening anyone, it wasn't toxic, it was literally just a joke about, you know, billionaire person in the media. And now all that the mods have done by banning me is piss people off because it was stupid. Rather than fighting actual toxicity via death threats or racism in the community, or maybe dealing with cheaters, black marketers, the few there are, you choose to sit in the Discord's main chat and look for people to mute who slightly break rules that you can try and bend to your, you know, ideal of what the rules are. That's not helping anyone in the slightest. It's only making the community worse, if anything. And there seems to be a lot of mods doing this, along with mods who just spam ban appeals all day, auto-denying anything without a clip or proof, and then ignoring the rest because it's too much work. Which brings me to Deepwoken's poor anti-cheat design, which also causes toxicity for a few reasons. Why doesn't the game run off of strikes? Many people can't run the game with clipping. It's a Roblox game, so you can already assume many of the people playing it don't have the best PCs. And if you get banned by a glitch and can't clip it, you're just banned without appeal, which is dumb. Why don't the devs add a 3-strike system where 3 flags of the anti-cheat bans you? Because one just isn't enough in a game where even I've gotten banned from boat flings before. It's not as bad as it used to be, but the old Ironclad was terribly buggy, and my friend's entire guild got either banned or killed because of a fling. Now, back to the main topic. People getting falsely banned without way to appeal is obviously going to make for a toxic environment as well, because people are going to get angry when they're banned without reason and unable to appeal. Which, yeah, most of the people claiming bans like this are lying, but if even a fraction of them aren't, they don't deserve to be banned from the game for it. So what can we do to combat these various issues within Deepwoken's community and gameplay? First of all, in-game anti-cheat needs a silent strike system, so people just aren't banned off of one false positive. Like, if you add 3 silent strikes and on the 3rd one you get banned, you can pretty much guarantee anyone getting auto-banned is a cheater, because if a cheater is cheating and they're not getting punished for it, they're just gonna keep doing it. So you build up 3 strikes, ban them, you can pretty much guarantee you're only banning cheaters. Maybe a one-time false positive could be caused by a fling or a bug with an enemy or lag, but with 3 strikes, nobody's really going to be getting falsely banned anymore unless they're playing on like a 1998 laptop. Secondly, loosen the in-game and chat rules. Banning someone for jokes is just stupid, right? My last ban was an interaction with a fan where I made a joke saying they should shoot you, in response to him saying, oh, hey Ray Chan, they should tickle you. This wasn't mean-spirited, and he knows I was joking when I said they should shoot you, but a cherry-picking moderator saw my name was red and perked up at the ears as soon as he saw that he could maybe spin this to get a mod action on a YouTuber. Meanwhile, worse things are consistently said in the Discord with more malice in them all the time. So loosen up the chat rules, and while you're at it, get rid of moderator points and just make sure that your mods are active, and in exchange give them free benefits not based on performance. That way quality work is promoted rather than the quantity of appeals denied. After that, there's not really much else that can be done, since Deepwoken being permadeath and competitive is really the main reason for it being toxic, which all these other things are just contributing factors, but I do think they make it significantly worse. The current moderation team really only makes things worse. There's a whole lot of mods doing nothing but farming mod points in general who genuinely do not benefit the game or the community at all in the slightest, and that's just a big problem. Get rid of the people farming for exclusive items and promote actual good mod work instead of letting your staff sit in general looking for easy ways to warn people, and get less biased staff while you're at it. Why is weird fetish art allowed in the fan artist channel? This was a big problem, and Deepwoken is a community consisting of a lot of kids, so you guys are gonna ban me for making a dick joke, but then someone can draw fat inflation Clarice, but as long as she's clothed, it's fine. Yeah, what a fine line that you guys hold. And can we talk about, I don't know, one of the moderators or maybe even the current head moderator making a joke saying, do you guys, I'm not even gonna repeat it actually, I'm not repeating that on video, and I will not tell you what it is in the comment because it's just really weird, but you know, somehow head mod gets head mod after Horror steps down despite the very weird things he said. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any ideas on how to improve Deepwoken's toxicity issues in the community, drop them in the comments down below. I'm a little bit sick, so ignore my voice. I'm gonna start making song covers again, so feel free to buy a YouTube membership to listen to those and the previous ones that I've already made. Shoutouts to tier 2 and higher members Green, Brick, Banana, High Card, Goob Cup, Pickle, Drizzy Drake Fan, and Bacon. I love you all, have an amazing day as always, and goodbye.